Welcome to the wonderful world of insomnia once again. I hope you're all doing well. It is, let's see, what day is it? It is December the 2nd, and I have insomnia. Y'all know that about me, though. It is something, it is a demon of which I battle, right? Okay, so where are we on this thing? With Hunter and the milks. I've chuckled as I was going back through this. I stopped the previous video that I did with the Hunter interview. This is Chris McDonough. I'll put a link to the video under in the description. I stopped about 3/4 of the way through because of all that happened during the interview. I think once we get to the orange soda, Gramma's Candy, and the milks, I think that's where things went off the rail, right? And I have some mixed feelings, I gotta tell you. I have some mixed feelings about Mr. McDonough saying to the mom, to Allie, that the story about the milk is going to be a problem. That Hunter's explanation was not sufficient. I don't know. I just felt like maybe he shouldn't have said that, right? Maybe that was a cue for them to clean up the story if this is made up. We don't know. I mean, you have to go on the. I guess. Okay. So I like to deal in reality. I don't want to pretend. I don't manage, I don't like being, pretending to be something I'm not, jumping on the bandwagon and being like everyone else. And I know that's the popular thing to do. I know that people that, jump in and they say whatever the narrative is of the moment and they go along with the big dogs. Those tend to be the channels where the viewership, the subscriber base grows very quickly, right? But I'm uncomfortable with that. I don't like it. I think that when you set up a scenario for an echo chamber meaning that everyone is simply repeating the same story, that you've been handed your talking points and you don't deviate from those talking points. And the reason that organizations or groups or areas of profession, the reason that they use talking points is for political gain. I'm just going to put it out there. That's what it is. That if, what is a good example? Let me think of a good example. Let's say the milk lobby. Okay. I shouldn't offend anyone talking about milk, right? So let's say that you're a dairy farmer. There are large groups of people that are hired to go to Congress, whether it's federal in Washington, D.C., or it's the local state government or county government, whatever. The people will work and be a member of these professional organizations that are a part of whatever industry you're in. For a psychologist, it's the American Psychological Association. And also like the Association for Application of Behavioral Therapy. There are several different ones, but let's just go. So for the milk farmers and whatnot, they have some organization, the National Federation of Milk Cows. I don't know. When you go to your big yearly convention, then you've got a week of people sort of repeating the same phrases, repeating the same messaging, repeating the same narrative. And you can get overexposed to it, and they're basically kind of trying to brainwash it a little bit. But the point is they're giving you what their messaging is going to be on the national stage. That messaging on the national stage is going to be used to influence members of Congress. And then those members of Congress will vote for legislation that is going to benefit whatever it is your professional organization has pushed for, right? Now, how do we get members of Congress to do what we want them to do? Public opinion. The people on the news, what they're talking about. The local elected officials, what platform they choose. And so it has become it is just a work of art sometimes to watch how these people operate. Starting first by infiltrating your thoughts with these repeated messaging, aka talking points, and then you pick that up through your yearly convention, through your professional publications, through your monthly meetings at the local level. You pick up the repeated messaging, and then that trickles out to the people that you have influence over. And then before you know it, you're hearing the same message everywhere. It's over and over and over. And it all ends up basically exerting power and pressure on the elected officials that are making the laws. That's why it's called an echo chamber, because it's an insidious pattern, and it's not like you go in and you sit down in a meeting and they say, okay, for the year 2022, here are the 5 high points that we want you guys to memorize and repeat at every turn. It's done in a cloaked fashion. They tell you little stories that manipulate you and make you adopt that point number 1. And then they'll repeat the phrases as they're telling you the little story. And so when you walk out of this hour-long symposium, when you walk out now, your lexicon, your worldview has all been intentionally manipulated and changed to fit with a political narrative. And then you hear your local television people repeating the same messaging. And you're going, yeah, that's right. I learned about that. This news person knows what the hell they're talking about. This is really awesome. Yeah. And before you know it, everybody's repeating the same thing, right? So that's why you get these montages on YouTube where they'll have like 50 or 100 newscasters from local all the way up to national or even international, and they are like repeating the same exact phrases. Whether you call it talking points or whether you call it the intentional manipulation of the public, I don't know, but it is the same thing. So I think that's where they broke down is I think that maybe Mr. McDonough should not have given Allie the heads up that this is a problem. Hunter's going to have a problem with the milks, right? If you don't get your story together, if you don't get your timeline in order, there are going to be people that are going to raise an eyebrow at this. I just felt like I just don't think he should have done that. It's almost like assisting, right? Please don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he did it intentionally, not in 10 million years. I'm saying I think if I had been law enforcement, I would have preferred that they not be told that the milks were a problem. I wish but look, when you're doing this and you're doing, there was a great deal of good information that came out of this. So I'm not, I'm not saying that he did something wrong. I'm just, this is just me being independent and giving my own ideas, because I hate echo chambers. When everybody's following the same messaging and the same belief system, then you lose insight, right? There's nothing to discover if we're just a bunch of little soldiers and we're all marching side by side, wearing the same uniform and repeating the same chant. What is to be gained from that? If you're an intelligent, rational human being and you're really interested in uncovering information that matters, you want kind of that rogue element. You want those people that are not willing to fall in line and that are going to, stand independently and try to just relate to what they're seeing and not be influenced by someone's messaging. So, again, please don't come at me and say I'm being critical of this. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing and what my thoughts are. So I wish he hadn't, but he did. That's, whatever. And it's documented, so the police, they can use this as information that, hey, why'd you change your story, Hunter? You said this, then you talked to Mr. McDonough, and now you're changed it to that. Why? So that this could be a notable piece of evidence that, or a piece of influence that the police could use during interrogation. So, 6 of one, half dozen of another. I'm just here to tell you, my ramblings. Okay, now then. So let me share. I didn't greet everyone. I didn't figure I'd have anybody here, to tell you the truth. There are people that dominate. It's the tubers of the night, right? We have some YouTube creators that are like vampires. They stay up all night and then they sleep all day, I think. So I'm all screwed up with my sleep. So I'm awake all day and awake all night. But I really didn't think we'd have many people here. So I'm really glad you guys are here. So hello, LNB. Welcome. Hi, Arctic Cat. Hey, Kimberly. Good to have you. Hey, that girl. Are you that girl? Are you that girl? Thing 1. What am I going to say? We're thing 2. Okay. And let me see. LNB was number 1. Wow, we have no one in here. That's okay. That's all right. Okay, now then. So let me share my... wait a minute. I lost track of my video. Where is it? Let me kill this one off. I don't need that one. This is the one I need. Okay. Thank y'all for being so forgiving and understanding here. I wish I moved with a little more panache. What happened at the swimming hole? Here we go. Alright, and as you see, I've already got it teed up, ready to go. So I'm going to pick this apart in terms of, I'm having a lot of trouble with the semantics. Things went on. There's something wrong here. I've done other videos on this where I talked about, actually the one with Lori Vallow, where you see Lori Vallow, you see Tylee, and you see Alec being interviewed by police after the death of Charles, and they seem to have uncanny corroborating stories with little small details, but they all repeat the same detail. But that exists along with a seeming complete confusion about large important details that you would think they would all remember. So it's kind of fascinating that they have this weird small shared detail like what JJ ate for breakfast, but they lack uniform stories in points that really matter. That's the sign that there has been coaching. That's the sign that there has been a fictional tale that has been developed and memorized. That yeah, you are both talking about this little obscure detail which is designed to make me think that you both were there seeing the same thing. But then on the big points that anyone would remember, you part ways. Why? How do you account for something so strange? People that are that have a shared experience. Let's say you're all in a plane crash, right? And then the investigators come afterwards and they begin to question you so they can recreate the event. Most people in those circumstances, they have the same high points. They remember the big events fairly consistently. Okay, there's a uniform tale among the various informants, but where they part is the details they remember. And there is a neurological reason or a cognitive reason for that. It has to do with trauma and the way people encode information in those moments. Somebody may, in the moment of trauma, when your brain gets flooded with norepinephrine, you may be focusing on, let's say, the carpet. So you get this intense snapshot vision of what the carpet was, and maybe you notice that there was a little blue car, like a little matchbox car that was sitting on top of a skittle, right? But the person right next to you, maybe they were looking straight ahead and they noticed that the person, 2 rows in front of them, that had a balding spot on the back of their head. And at the moment when their brain was flooded with norepinephrine, they developed a snapshot vision of that person with the bald spot. So the details waver. The details are different based on what the person was doing at that critical moment of memory encoding. But the big pictures, the things that affect the narrative of the story, those things tend to be pretty consistent. So it is odd in the case of Lori and Tylee and Alec that as they recount the story of the death of Charles, they had an exact opposite experience. They seem to remember teeny inconsequential details that are the same, but then the big storyline gets all blown up. That's odd. Same thing in the case of Hunter and the Milks. There are little details that are corresponding, but the big picture gets lost, and I don't understand why. I've got some theories, and I'll talk about that when I finish at the end of this video, of Mr. McDonough's video. Okay, so here we go. We're going to listen to Hunter and the story of the Milks.
Yeah, but when did you notice that, right?
That was like when we first saw her.
Right, when you first, right. I mean, but at that moment, are you noticing anything unusual going down?
Not really.
Okay, when you say not really, what does that mean?
Like, not in general, no.
And then what happens from there?
Now, also got a note. Did you notice that at the beginning of this interview, people were attentive, it was quiet, respectful, but now we get into the heart of the story. And what do we encounter? Well, we got Allie jumping up and down. She's screaming like a banshee. Sandra! poor Chris jumped out of his skin. I can only imagine Karen. I think Chris got a little bit freaked out at one point because he turns and looks all the way over his shoulder and he's looking hard. You almost wonder if some of that old, back to being a police, you get worried, who's messing around behind you, right? And you almost think in that moment that maybe he got a little nervous, but it gets very chaotic when it comes time to talk about summer specifically. Now, when we're doing the timeline, where'd you go then? Where'd you go then? What store? What'd you buy at the store? Well, they got that all down pat. There's no problem with the timeline. But now it gets to summer. Now there's a great deal of, it's a cacophony, right? It's a crazy blend and mixture of all kinds of competing stimuli, and one has to wonder, is it intentional? Or does Allie want the distraction? I don't know. Is she that sophisticated? Because that is something I ask myself. If this were a different scenario with a different group of people, I might stomp my foot and say, of course this is, orchestrated. Of course they are creating diversion. But I'm not so sure in the case of Allie and Hunter. I don't know that they're that psychologically sophisticated to do that. I don't know, but let's watch and see where we go with this.
From there, I think they was in the store for an hour, maybe.
Okay, they were in the store for a long time.
Yeah.
So I was a little curious about this. Let me go back here. I want to slow it down. Let's slow it way down because it's such a brief moment. And it's a weird noise, so let me turn it down because it sounds creepy. Okay, so McDonough has asked Hunter, what's happening about the store. How long were they in the store? And Hunter seems unsure, right? Now, believe me, I get it. Because if somebody says, well, how long were you there? I'm like, oh my God. Maybe 15 minutes, maybe an hour or what. But as you're going through that kind of maybe what you're doing in your mind is you're replaying the moments of sitting in the car waiting and all the things that you did during that time period, and that informs your guess. Now it happens fairly quickly, but that's how you're kind of judging your time. And a person with ADHD or someone on the spectrum, like high functioning autism, those people, because of the disruption in executive functioning, they have a very difficult time managing elapsed time, right? They have a hard time with things like calendars, and so you always want to have a concrete model that they can refer to. So on the one hand, while I find this very unusual and a little uncomfortable, I also recognize that there are some reasons that he may be like this. This may be part of the disruption of executive functioning in his ADHD, but it's still interesting and notable. So here we are. He looks out to the left. He's replaying in his mind. Okay, what were we doing while they were in the store? I remember Summer showed me a TikTok. We laughed about it. Then we got one of the LOL dolls. So he's playing in his mind, and he's going to use that to sort of guesstimate in a natural condition, right? So he's looking off to the left. He's thinking. He's recalling that information. Hey, looking down.
I think there's in the store
And now he's looking toward mom. So he looks to the left. We would believe he's recreating an event, right? And then when he finally says, okay, I'm going to say it's an hour, he looks toward mom, and I wish that we had a better view of mom, right? This happens to be one of those, shots where we just didn't get Allie's face. I wish that Kieran had been zoomed back away from the table to have gotten all of the people's expressions and whatnot, but nevertheless, he looks to mom for confirmation. Isn't that interesting? He does legitimately look off to the left, recreate what he was doing during that time, but before he makes a commitment, he looks to mom to say, an hour? Like, are you okay with this? What do you think about this, mom? I wish we could have seen her countenance as he's looking to her for confirmation. Yeah? And look at Chris McDonough. He's watching. You can see it all over his face. He recognizes this isn't right. Something about what Hunter has done here is very uncomfortable. So the question I have is, for a kid who was engrossed in a situation that mom was at home fast asleep in the back of the house, remember that? Mom supposedly at home fast asleep, the back of the house. Hunter is with Summer in the back seat of the truck. Candus and Grandus are inside the store. Why did Grandus go in? Her knee is hurt, isn't it? She went to the ER for medication, for God's sake. But nevertheless, this is the tale they have woven. Why is Hunter looking toward mom for confirmation about saying that it was an hour? Mom doesn't know. Or does she? Inquiring minds want to know, Allie. All right. Okay, everybody good with that? Let me check the chat. Oh, we got more people here. Welcome, peoples. Hey, Charlie Faith. Hey, Orb Ital. Love your name. I remember you from another channel. Radmila Rickson. Welcome. I don't know who you are, Radmila. Maybe one of Chris Watt's channels. All right. I thought Allie was asleep in the bathroom. In the bathroom? I think... That's funny, but I do think it was back room. But I like your version better. It brought a smile to my face. Let's see. Be Real said it could be just habit. Agreed. Yes. It could have been... okay, so the ADHD, the problem with executive functioning, that can play havoc with the ability of managing time, right? So that's a explanation for why it takes so long to answer the question about how long they were in the backseat of the car. Be Real is pointing out a really important fact, that he's young, and maybe his look toward mom is simply what we call a check-in, where it's just a comfort. It's kids do it. Even a 2-year-old that's exploring and they get too far away, maybe they go past a certain part of the yard. They're getting nervous because they've never been that far out into the yard, and so they just stop a minute, they turn, look around over over their shoulder to see, hey, is mom still there? And then when they see mom, then that calms them. They feel safe, and then they continue exploring, right? It's called a check-in. Maybe this is a check-in, right? Be real. Maybe this is just, it's got to be a stressful situation he's in for any number of reasons. Maybe because he was feeling unsure about the actual time that they were in. Maybe this was just a check-in. It was just, okay, I'm feeling uncomfortable here. Is everything okay? And so the kid looks toward the mom to look at their face, and they see if mom's not bothered, then the kid feels calm and relaxed and goes on. If they look toward the mother's face and the mother looks like she is sensing danger, then they will come back toward the mother. They won't continue off into the same exploration pattern, right? So, yeah, it's possible. And that's why I said I wish we would have seen her face. I wish the camera would have been pulled out a little bit more, just because I think that would have been a really important moment, to capture. But it could have been just a check-in. I'm with you, Be Real. Absolutely. For sure. So, but it's curious. When we go on and complete looking at the rest of this part of the segment of the video, the interview, I don't know. When you combine this with other things, it feels uncomfortable. All right.
Okay. They were in the store for a long time?
Yeah, a little bit long, but not that long.
And what did they get?
So they got groceries for the house. I don't know what all they got. All I seen was what was beside of us, the milks.
Okay. And
Oh, please look at Allie's face. All I seen was the milks. I don't know what they bought. I wasn't there with them. I don't know. I just seen the milks. Okay?
where did the orange soda come from?
All right. Allie is shook about the orange soda. I don't know why. I did a previous video, however. You know the lady, what's it called? What's the name of her channel? She went on to Facebook and she found all these pictures of little kids on this man's Facebook account. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? Y'all help me out here. What's the name of that lady? What's her channel? Do y'all know? Y'all know what I'm talking about? Anyway, so there's a guy, creeper looking guy. I don't know if he's a creeper, but he makes me feel a little creepy. There in part of this group of photographs that she has, taken from Facebook. Yeah, I agree, Be Real. I would agree with that. Yeah. No, it's not Tiffany Marie Radmilla. What is the name of that channel? I cannot remember. I'm a little surprised that one of you guys don't know. I'll have to go back and I'll get it and put it in the description. Wait, all dudes are creepy. Well, Daniel, not all dudes. Some dudes are creepy, right? This particular dude who, Michelle After Dark. Is that what it's called, Charlie Faith? Michelle After Dark? Or Mountain Girl? There. Okay. So good. Thank y'all. So y'all can go to these Michelle After Dark. Yes. Okay. So she found these this guy. There's also a picture where Hunter's grandmother, the woman that's sitting to the right of Allie, she is in these pictures and she's holding some of these kids in her lap. Yes? Are we all on the same page? Michelle After Dark and Michelle Walks. Yeah, Michelle Walks, she's kind of like me when she's just kind of talking about her theories. But the Michelle After Dark, she puts those photographs up, right? Missing but Not Forgotten, in Nina's World. Okay, so all these people are sharing these photographs. Is that right, Heidi? Okay. So we know that, oh my gosh, she has uncovered unbelievable photographs. No question about it. All right, so we know there's a familial connection because we got this picture of the great-grandma, Hunter's great-grandma, sitting with these kids in this really weird situation. Now, it wasn't weird that she was sitting outside with kids. The Facebook is weird because of the collection of photographs, the number of little blonde kids, right? These little blonde kids that all look like they're living in complete and total misery. If you've seen the photographs and you think the children look absolutely miserable, put a 1. If you've never seen the photographs, put a 2. Because maybe if you've never seen the photographs, maybe what I'll do is I'll link up those Facebook pages and review those photographs. I'll put up Michelle After Dark. You got to go over to her channel and watch. That's her research. That's her content. Oh, okay. So most of you, hey Maureen, welcome. Most of you know what I'm talking about. You've seen them, right? So that's good. So hi Jill, welcome. So the children all look horribly miserable, right? Okay, so Debbie, Orb, and Arctic Cat, y'all haven't seen them. So some of my community haven't yet seen them. So I'll get them. We'll feature Michelle After Dark, and you'll be able to see what we're talking about here. So Empress says partially miserable. I don't know. I think they look pretty miserable, Empress. But never, you know what picture really bugs me? The trick-or-treating. Not trick-or-treating, Easter. The Easter photograph where they're at the back of the truck and they're all standing there. They got their Easter baskets behind them. Those kids are miserable. There's another photograph where they're all standing in the kitchen. Candus is in the picture. The kids look like they're in misery. So, I don't know. But it's not. It doesn't leave you with the warm fuzzies. Trust me. These are not family photographs that look like my family photographs. I'm going to be willing to bet they don't look like your family photographs. It's pretty grim, right? So anyway, the grandma, the great grandma here, she's in one of these photographs. So this guy has a connection to Allie's family. And there are some pictures where Allie's older daughter, as a younger girl, is in these pictures. So it's quite strange. In fact, what I said to Piddle and Bill, I almost feel like the photographs of Allie's family, they're more suspicious kind of than the Wells family photographs. And what I mean by that is that with the Wells family photographs, the photographs appear to reflect what we know to be true about their real lives, right? There's a lot of drug and alcohol abuse. There's poverty, there's all that, depression, right? And the photographs depict that. There's a great deal of depression, which means the house is not getting cleaned. It's chaotic and cluttered. But the photographs reflect that. They don't try to hide that. They don't try to make it into something that it's not. The photographs from this Allie's part of this, they don't match. What the story that we're getting here, the illusion that Allie appears to be painting, doesn't match what we know now to be true about the whole thing. So it's interesting. It's what kind of weird. These little kids didn't know anything but this sad lack of attention and lifestyle. Yeah, so neglect, right? I've heard people say, why is neglect included with abuse? Like when you're talking about like a CPS case? Because if children if they are living in an impoverished, I'm talking about a experiential, sensory type denial of stimulation. If they're living in an impoverished immediate environment, there's no neurological stimulation, there's no experiences happening, nothing that's going to prompt and trigger sensory stimuli, which is also prompting neurological excitation. If a kid is living in an environment where there's nothing happening, that their brain and their abilities are not being, prompted to react, then they become very muted. I mean, you look at the kids that came out of some of the Russian towns where kids were living in these big institutions. They were feeding off of bottles that were tied to the side of a crib. There was no skin to skin touch. There was no playtime. These kids grow up and they have a reactive attachment disorder. They never form the ability for having a relationship with others. They are violent when they feel love. I mean, things can go badly wrong neurologically when neglect is on the field, right? So it is important. A kid living in a situation where the parents are unavailable, whether it's because they're experiencing terrible depression or mental illness or drugs and alcohol, the effect is still the same. They develop a true neurological disruption because of that neglect. So neglect also shown to kids they don't matter and they're not loved. Well, yeah, there's that problem too, but there's actually a more basic problem that is abuse. Neglect is abuse because it shapes and forms the neurological foundation that interferes with future learning and attachment. So it is abusive to deny children sensory stimulation and experience. It's abusive. All right, now then, so the Allie's family photos, as revealed by Michelle After Dark, they're concerning. Okay, because the kids look a little off. All right. Maybe there's a reason for that I'm not aware of, and I'm not casting judgment. Again, I'm just giving what I'm noticing. Now, let's go through here.
Next to Summer on the seat.
There's that look. Right? We talked about it the other night. So the milks are a problem. Chris McDonough says, what about the orange soda? And in the photographs that Michelle After Dark has found, there are multiple photographs where there's orange soda laying beside sleeping children. Maybe that means the only thing that they ever buy in Allie's family is orange soda. But that isn't true because we have evidence right there on the table that Mountain Dew, good old Mountain Dew in Tennessee, tends to be the favored drink of Allie and Hunter and their people. All right, so they like Mountain Dew, hoo.
House. I don't know what all they got. All I seen was what was beside of us, the milks.
Okay. And where
And Allie has a notable reaction to the milks. It's almost like Allie's got her game face on. Yeah? That the minute, he's kind of like, what? The food? What? I don't know anything about the food. I don't know what they bought. I wasn't in there. The only thing I know about the food is the milks. And then Allie pulls her head up and got her game face on. Why? Now watch her when Chris brings up the orange soda. Keep an eye on Allie's face.
Where did the orange soda come from?
The orange
Next
soda.
to Summer on the seat.
Micro expressions. That is not a micro expression. That's clear. She is looking at the enemy. Who agrees? If that looks like the face of someone who is staring down the enemy, put a 1. If you think I am FOS, put a 2. What do you think? All right. Game on, right? Absolutely. That is her mission face. But there's a micro expression that happens right before the game face. So what we're going to do is we're going to slow it way down and hope that we can catch it because it's fairly quick. Remember, a micro expression is something that is happening as there is a memory trail. There is a neurologically there is a neuron that hits upon a memory that is highly emotional. And in that second or fraction of a second where that particular neuron, that memory is it's targeted, triggered, the corresponding muscle around the face is fired. It's elicited. That expression is elicited. So if you happen to hit upon a highly emotional memory where there was anger, what you're going to see in that micro expression will be those muscles that are involved in anger. If the high emotion from the targeted or triggered memory is sadness, then the micro expression is going to look like utter and complete devastation. It's very quick. It's not even in our control because it is like a reflex. It's like when your doctor hits your knee with the little hammer and your foot flies out. You can't control it. It's all part of the memory. And so the neurological firing happens beyond your control. So there is a micro expression that happens here. Let's see if we can catch it by slowing this down. And I got to turn the sound down because it makes me crazy when they talk so slow. Makes me feel like I'm on, like acid or something. Not that I've ever been on acid.
Next to Summer on
All right, watch Allie's face. She's thinking. think we missed it. Hold on.
Okay. And where did the orange soda come from? Next to summer on the sea.
Right there. Did y'all see it?
Okay.
Watch her eyebrow.
And where did the orange soda come from? Next to summer on the sea.
Bam. We got it right there. You see it? Look right above her eyebrow. Right there. Oh, you know what? I think that banner thing is in your way. Hold on. Let me get that off of there so you can see it. I wish it would let me take the stupid logo off. How do I get that off of there? Let's see. Damn, it's covering it up. I guess that's the easiest way to see it. Damn it. Wow. Let's see. Yeah, let's do it like that. That may be, I know it's small, but at least that way you can see. Right above her eyebrow, you can see where the muscles draw together. Okay, so I'm going to replay this, and I apologize. When I make it big, let's see if... No. Well, that didn't work, did it? Maybe that'll work. Hold on. Okay, you can see it there, right? Let's try that. I'm trying to get it to where it's the biggest, but you can still see her forehead. Well, you can see it right there. If you look right to the left of the red part of my hoodie, down to her eyebrow, that's where you see that expression. And man, I wish I had the ability to move it over to the left, but it doesn't give you that. I don't know why they have this stupid logo thing on here. I don't even know why we even need that. I was trying to think if I had something I could put up there that would be like really tiny. This might be a small picture. Let's see what that looks like. Ah, that worked a little bit, yeah? Is that better? Okay. because I want you to be able to see this is a moment here, right? I don't think I've heard anybody else talk about this, and it's really telling. Are we good there? Yeah, we're good. Okay, so she's in the micro expression right now, okay? And so you look at this, remember, this is beyond her control. It's outside of her control. She can't do anything about it. What you're looking at right here is you have got a window into her mind right now. That's it right there. Now, what is that emotion that she is experiencing? Remember, she has this micro expression, she has this moment, and then immediately she's got her game face on. She's looking at the enemy. Okay? But she is in a moment right here. She's in a memory. She's deep in a memory. In fact, I'd be willing to bet she's not even focusing, paying attention to the fact she's sitting there with Chris McDonough in that second. So, what do you think she's thinking? What is that emotion that she's having? Yeah, Chris is looking. What do y'all think? Does that look angry to you? I don't know if that looks angry to me. She does develop anger, right? She does. As soon as she pulls out of this memory, she's back in the moment dealing with the matter at hand. And from the look of it, Chris is the bad guy, right? In the moment. Now, can I point out the fact that her child is being interviewed? Wouldn't it be natural to want to protect your child? So you can't lose sight of that either. I mean, I wouldn't be happy about my kid being interviewed by a detective. I wouldn't have even allowed this to happen, I don't think. I would have told my kid to be honest with the police. I would have said, if you did something wrong, we're going to deal with this. You're going to suffer the consequences. We're going to get through this, and we're going to move into our future. And we're going to make a better future, live our best life, right? But for whatever reason, they wanted to do this. But maybe she felt protective of Chris. Maybe that anger is that she felt like it was an unfair question. Maybe she felt like he was trying to portray Hunter in a negative light. I don't know. But this moment right here is really important because she's in a memory. And I think she looks sad. I think there's profound regret. Now she blinks out. You see it? You saw when she disconnected from the memory, right? Alright, so let's watch again.
So they got groceries for the house. I don't know what all they got. All I seen was what was beside of us, the milk.
Okay.
All right, so Allie knows now they're at a critical part.
And where did the orange soda?
And she says, "What are you talking about, Chris?"
Come from next to summer on the sea.
Terrible memory. It's a bad feeling. She doesn't like it. Whatever memory she's in right now, and she is detached. Her brain is focused 100% on a highly emotional memory. And she's blinking out, and now she's looking at the enemy. She's saying, "What are you doing? What are you trying to do? We have a problem." And look at Chris. What is Chris saying back to Allie? "Yes, we do have a problem, ma'am." Right? Isn't that fascinating? It is so interesting. It is so interesting. But boy, that captures it right there. That if a look, I mean, a million words are passing between these two right here, right now in this second. A million words. The communication between Allie and Chris, they are both on the same page, and it is not a happy ending. Okay, now Allie is problem solving. And Chris is taking the longest drink of Mountain Dew in the history of Tennessee. Because he is watching Allie and he does not want to stop looking at her. He's trying to judge what is happening between her two ears. See how long he's staring? And then the side eye toward Hunter. Before he even lifts down the mug, he's watching. These are the eyes of a predator. What Chris is doing here, he is watching what his behavior is, what the words he's speaking, the movement of his body. That ain't nothing. That's all designed to just distract. Look at his eyes. Look at how he's looking at them. He is just gathering information through his eyes. And this is the part where I felt like he got a little freaked out by something that was happening out on the road. And you don't know if he had a sixth sense or if maybe Karen was kind of like looking at him like, "What the hell, Chris? What's going on over there?" And maybe even kind of motion toward the road. So I thought this was really interesting. I think it'd be interesting to know what he was looking at, right? If it was, maybe it was people being a little disruptive, maybe it was kids playing, maybe it was someone looking around his truck, you don't know. But, Allie's kind of sitting there like mob boss, right? She's kind of in a power position and she got a problem right now. Her brain is deep in thought trying to manage what's unfolding in front of her.
I'm really trying to think now. So
I think maybe Chris is petting a dog or something. Maybe not. Maybe that was Hunter's hand. I don't know. It's weird. Okay, but again, look back at Allie's face. She's back to that strange facial expression. We see it a few times, but during this topic about the milks and the orange drink, it almost stays frozen there like that. It's weird. Is she motioning to him? Is she trying to get his attention? I don't know.
There's an orange soda on this.
Now, she's looking at him again like, "Shut the F up. about the orange soda. What is wrong with you? Isn't that weird though? Because it's an orange soda. Who cares about an orange soda? An orange soda is nothing, right? For little kids. But Allie, she doesn't like this conversation, not one bit related to the orange soda. He looked like he could draw on the intake of his drink as long as she was going to draw on the cigarette. Maybe, or you're talking about like mirroring her behavior. Maybe trained interviewers, people are taught to reflect others' behaviors to cause a sense of comfort and instant rapport, things like that. Maybe it was intentional, or maybe he was just really focused trying to gather information. Orange soda bottle looked full to me. Orange soda may have had a drug in it to make Summer fall asleep. Shelley, that was my thought. Hey, Gigi, I haven't seen you in a long time. Welcome. That was my thought, because so many of these photographs on the Facebook where you've got these sleeping children with these bizarre haircuts, they're all drinking orange soda. Why? What's with the orange soda? And I thought I was being, just a little too observant. You can make a mountain out of a molehill when you begin to analyze things. It's as much a part of the training to be observant as it is to be accepting. Okay, yeah, there are a lot of orange soda drinks, but kids like orange soda. That's okay. Until you can show me something unusual related to the orange soda, I'm just going to accept it that it's a cultural thing in the family. They like orange soda, right? And then you see the micro expression. Remember, she doesn't have that look when he asks about the milks. She has that look. She gets all freaked out and protective. She goes on alert when he asks about the orange soda. Well, now I have reason to be really worried about the orange soda. It's prevalent among sleeping children, and the mention of orange soda sends Allie into a defensive posture. Why? All right. Very, very interesting. Trolling up in here? Who's trolling? Hi, Rainey Hall. What do you think, Rainey? You want to compare IQs? I'm good with that. I'm not the one trolling, Rainey. Okay. Now then. Let's see. I think I want to replay this. Hey, Black Rose, welcome to you, girlie. I woke you up. I'm sorry. Insomnia is contagious, Black Rose. All right, let's try this one more time here. To prove my point.
Next to summer on the sea.
This is the beginning of the micro expression. Her mouth, you can see her breathe in. That memory is triggering. And you know what? Look at this. Look at this. This is crazy. What?
Okay. And
Okay, now Chris is about to ask about the orange soda. Okay? Watch. He's going to say, what about the orange soda? And Allie didn't really respond until he says, there's orange soda laying on the seat beside Summer. And that is when you see the micro expression. But watch Chris now, because he's going to ask about the orange soda, and then he's immediately, I'm talking about immediately, going to turn his eyes on Allie. And he is not going to blink. He is going to watch her like a hawk to see if she responding to the orange soda. Isn't that interesting? Watch.
where did the orange soda come from? Next to Summer on the sea.
What do you think? Now, he got distracted, no doubt about it. Do you think he thought that they were going to have a reaction to the orange soda? No, Grandma don't give a damn. She doesn't care. Yeah, you gotta wonder, right? So, oh, it's so intense, Iris. No doubt, this was a big moment. Yeah. Something about that orange soda. What is it? What is it? Yeah, well, now there is, I'm going to tell y'all this, and I'm sure you've seen it, but there is a part of this where Grandma also is shook. Where Grandma looks at Allie like, what the hell's wrong with you? Why are you acting like that? Have y'all seen it? You know what I'm talking about? And exactly, Heidi, that Hunter is repeating to himself because he doesn't know what the hell Chris is talking about. Almost like he's not even there, right? Yeah. Black crows. Jeepers, creepers, where'd you get those peepers? Where'd you get those eyes? All right, let's go back up to normal speed now so we don't have to feel like we're in a lucid dream. All right, and let's move forward. Yeah, so Chris is distracted. Something was definitely happening out on the road. This has given Allie time to problem solve. So let's watch carefully and see if Allie's demeanor has changed from this point going forward. Before this, she's been very quiet. She's kept her mouth shut. She hasn't interfered. Let's see if this moment is going to mark a change in her demeanor.
I'm really trying to think on that one. I totally forgot there was orange soda.
There is an orange soda on the seat in the TikTok video.
TikTok video.
Yeah, and the video that somebody took of her in the car.
There was also Skittles or
Distraction. Yeah? Now she's offering additional information.
some kind of candy.
And then what about the
Grandma hasn't taken her eyes off of Hunter.
candy on the seat?
That was her candy. Because her grandma done bought it for her in the store.
Okay, so from there, now
And there was an edit there. They cut the video. What'd they take out?
you have this, they come back to the car. Where's the milk come in?
Now, one question and thought I had was, suddenly Allie picks up her phone. She appears to be texting, typing, or whatever. But is she recording Hunter? I had the impression something about this, the way she positions the phone, made me think she started recording him. I think she's recording what he's saying. Is this because they're now in uncharted territory and she doesn't know what he's going to say? Or he's deviated from the storyline? Again, this is all for entertainment purposes. I have no special inside information. Innocent until proven guilty by a court of law, or in a court of law. They could be 100% completely telling the truth and on the up and up, and I could be 100% off base. I'm only giving my thoughts. I'm voicing my thoughts, my observations.
The milk. Milk.
The milk. The milk. The milk, the milk, the milk. Now, that's odd because he's already said, well, I don't know what they bought. I own just the milks that were there with us. Well, now he's saying the milk, the milk, the milk, the milk. Like he doesn't have an idea at all what Chris is talking about.
They come back to the car. Where's the milk come in?
The milk. Oh, when they had put everything in the bed of the truck. You know, like the back of the truck.
Mm-hmm.
I call it a truck bed because it is a truck bed.
Okay. But there's a picture of Summer leaning against the milk bottles.
Yeah, they put them there. Well, I think I put them there in the middle because there's no room on the other side of me.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I put them there because she was sitting by the...
Okay. Listen closely again. This is a big problem for me.
Well, I think I put them there in the middle because there's no room on the other side of me.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know.
First he says that they put them there. Then he says, well, I think I put them there in the middle because there was no room on the other side of me. Well, where the hell was Summer? If you didn't have any room on one side of you, but you had room on the other side of you to put the milks, where was the baby? Right? I don't understand what that doesn't make any sense, right? And you got Allie who's pulled her phone up, and I mean she really pulled it up. She had it up, but then she almost kind of leaned back and picked it up a little more. I think she's recording. I think she knows there's trouble in the story, that there's a breakdown. Now I want to keep going. This is a weird. I'm going to go back and re-listen again, but I want to keep going because we know now that Hunter he's got a problem here. The milks are a big problem. And Allie has got this phone up as if she's documenting word for word what he says. But let's see what her reaction is as he says, I put them there because I didn't have any room on the other side of me. Almost like, well, then Summer wasn't there. Right? So let's see what happens.
Yeah, I put them there because she was sitting by the window, and then...
Was she sleeping?
No, she wasn't even sleeping at the time.
Okay.
I just set them in the middle because if they were to fall and spill, it would be on me, and I don't feel like cleaning up no truck mess.
Okay.
If they had fallen and spilled, it would have been on me, and I don't feel like getting in trouble for no truck mess. Problem is that they were not sitting upright. One of them was exactly on its side, the best way for it to leak out from around the cap. And the other one then was sitting appropriately, but on top of the first gallon that was on its side. So that story doesn't make sense either, Hunter.
It looks like she's against the door, though, in that picture.
I wasn't there when that picture was took.
Oh, okay. When did they take that picture? Do you know?
I have no
I
idea.
believe the one with the milk.
Oh, Allie's so quick to add to the conversation. This hasn't been her demeanor through this whole time. Now we got more distraction. Let's move past Hunter and his apparent lack of awareness for the milks. Let's just go into something else that we can talk about and focus on, which is what? The photograph. Because how are you going to argue with a photograph? Right?
Milk jugs was sitting right here in front of my house because that's.
Okay, but Allie, that's not what they were talking about, honey. That was not the topic of conversation, but you know that, don't you, Allie? Let's try again.
I don't feel like cleaning up no truck mess.
Okay. It looks.
I'm not understanding here about this telephone and how engrossed she appears to be, which is something that people do when they're lying or uncomfortable, to calm themselves, to think they will distract themselves, right? Or pretend to be doing something so others don't say, "Oh, they look nervous." They try not to be nervous. Think about it this way. Somebody who's pretending not to be drunk, right? They end up looking like seriously drunk or foolish. It's kind of what impresses me as that this is all designed to go, what, me, huh? Uncomfortable? I'm not uncomfortable, Chris. Look, I'm just on my phone. Yep, just checking my social media because I'm so relaxed. However, if that's the case, why did she jump in a rather loud way and talking fast to say, "Oh yeah, remember the picture? That's where the picture happened, right there where you're parked. That's how it happened." But that wasn't the conversation, Allie.
She was sitting by the window, and then
Was she sleeping?
no, she wasn't even sleeping at the time.
Okay.
I just set them in the middle because if they were to fall and spill, it would be on me, and I don't feel like cleaning up no truck mess.
Okay. It looks like she's against the door, though, in that picture.
I wasn't there when that picture was took.
Oh, okay. When did they take that picture? Do you know?
I have no
I
idea.
believe the one with the milk jugs was sitting right here.
Crazy, right? How animated she becomes so quickly. All right. Okay, now this go around, same topic. I want to keep my eye on Grandma, and I want to see what's going on with her, if she has any kind of reaction, because there's a lot of photographs. Grandma seems to have some orange soda in a photograph with her, too.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I put them there because she was sitting by the window, and then
Was she sleeping?
no, she wasn't even sleeping at the time.
Okay.
I just set them in the middle because if they were to fall and spill, it would be on me, and I don't feel like cleaning up no truck mess.
Okay. It looks like she's against the door, though, in that picture.
I wasn't there when that picture was took.
Oh, okay. When did they take that picture? Do you know?
I have no
I
idea.
believe the one with the milk jugs was sitting right here in front of my house because that's exactly how that baby was before they left.
Okay, so look at the contrast. Grandma really had no change in demeanor that I noticed. But look at the contrast between Hunter and Allie. Hunter is so lost. He absolutely has no idea what Chris is talking about. None. He's wishy-washy. Well, an hour? But Allie is animated, powerful, definitive. She's pointing her finger at Chris because she is taking back control of this moment. She is now in control. She is commanding attention, and Chris is giving it to her. I think Chris got distracted by Allie's theatrics.
When did they take that picture? Do you know?
I have no
I
idea.
believe the one with the milk jugs was sitting right here in front of my house because that's exactly how that baby was before they left.
Okay, well,
Okay, but the problem is that Hunter just said that he put the milk beside him. Where was Summer? You can't have it both ways. So it doesn't matter what your photograph shows, Allie. That's the problem that I have with the photograph. We don't have any reason to know for certain that photograph was even taken on that day. For certain, no question, the clothes that Summer is wearing when she's swimming and what Hunter said she was wearing when they first arrived at the house, and then what she's wearing in the photograph, none of that matches. None of it. Don Wells says, oh, those were the clothes she was going to wear the first day of school. Candus says, no, we went and bought clothes because she was cold or we were going to the water park or whatever. You guys seem to have constructed a bunch of lies around a photograph and a video that are supposed to be used as proof of life. We don't know when those photographs or videos were taken. There's no consistency in those photographs or videos. But when Allie speaks about the photograph here, when Hunter is definitely acting in a way that matches the facts of the case, which is wishy-washy, murky, blurred. Now Allie comes back to take back control of the situation and reassert focus on the photograph. You got to focus on the photograph. That photograph is everything. That's our timeline. That's our proof that she was alive on that day, and then by that evening she was nowhere to be found. With the photograph is everything, but we don't know when the photograph was taken. And I think, in my opinion, if the police, TBI, if they have the photograph, they have the information on the photograph. If it was a photo taken with a telephone or whatever, they should have the information on the exact coordinates, the location, that kind of thing. But what if Candus did some funny business with the photograph? What if it was edited and then it was manipulated, a filter or lightened or darkened or more shading or whatever, and then deleted the original photograph? What if she did a screenshot of the photograph and deleted the original photograph? There's a lot of ways to wipe out that metadata. But the passion that we're seeing from Allie here doesn't match her passion anywhere else in this interview. And it comes on the heels of that very powerful micro expression followed by the protective, angry glare.
Well, when you were in the car, where'd they put the milk?
Well, they gave it to me. Me.
They gave it to you.
Not
And-
like not to keep, but to
no,
like.
to put it away.
Yeah.
And where did you put it?
I had it
Uh-oh. Allie self-soothing again. That's a major tell for her.
sitting on my lap until we got out the car.
Got
Okay, so now Hunter has made the decision. This is the story he's going with. No. I didn't put the milk beside me. Maybe he remembered that Summer was supposed to be sitting there. No, I didn't. What I did, they gave the milk to me and I put it in my lap. So now he's holding 2 cold jugs of milk in his lap, sitting on his thighs. Do the experiment. Go to the store tomorrow, buy 2 gallons of milk, wear blue jeans, or, well, no, he wasn't in blue jeans that day, was he? He was wearing shorts. Get you some khaki shorts, and then sit in the back seat of the truck, put the milks on each of your thighs as somebody drives you home. What was it, 20 minutes home from the grocery store? And let's see how comfortable you are. Because the coldness is going to make you remember the moment, because you're going to go, damn, I can't keep holding these cold milks on my thighs. It hurts.
it. And
Allie is still self-soothing.
out here?
Yeah, out here.
Okay.
And she pulled up like a truck
She's still self-soothing.
now, like we're at right now.
Right.
But the opposite around.
Got it. So it's facing that way.
Yeah.
And you're getting out on this side. And where do you put the milk?
We're going to slow it down again. Watch Allie.
But the opposite around.
Got it. So it's facing that way.
Yeah.
And you're getting out on this side.
Did y'all see it? I may need to slow it down so I can get it to stop right at the right, just at the right moment. Her surreptitious glaze or gaze.
Got it. So it's facing that way.
Yeah.
And you're getting out on this side.
Allie, oop. Right? Man, she does not like Chris McDonough. Yeah. Hey, Alcy lady, thank you for subscribing. That makes me happy. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. What do you think about Allie Oop? Huh? She does not like Mr. McDonough, does she? Look at that look. Whew. Now, let's take a guess. What do you think she's thinking? Good morning, Scarlett. Scarlett O'Hara. All right. What is Allie thinking? She is looking at him like, Buster, if I could get my hands on you. Huh? We may not know what she's thinking, right? Sandy Alvarado, welcome, my friend. We may not know what it is that Allie is thinking, but is she coming off as being a sweet, loving, gentle little mommy? Or are you getting the feeling that Allie might have a mean side to her? She could be thinking this is a dilemma, or she could be thinking, get the F off my porch. I'm done with this. Desired says Hunter was long gone in the house. Allie helped Candus move Summer. Move the milk jugs. Maybe the semantic thing, yeah. So I think that Allie has tried to portray herself as the antithesis to whatever we think Candus is, right? She's tried. When you go back and listen to all of her interviews and everything that she said, through YouTube or whatever, she sort of paints herself as the loving, nurturing, reasonable woman, whereas Candus was the abusive, cold, neglectful mother, right? And yeah, if looks could kill, right, Snuggle? That's what I mean. I don't think that after watching this and really analyzing just body language, nothing else, just body language, I think it's clear that Candus and Allie were friends for a reason. Birds of a feather flock together, correct? The fact that Allie has invested a moderate amount of time convincing us that Candus is the bad twin and Allie is the good twin, well, we now have reason to believe maybe not. Give me one moment as you ponder her expression. My apologies. I've always said my family comes first, right? And my little fur babies are my children, so they needed to be let outside and they needed water, so I apologize. But y'all are very sweet for being forgiving and understanding. Okay. So I do think that analyzing and watching Allie here, I think it's really clear that Allie may not be being exactly honest about who she is and what matters to her. And we do have to realize that Candus and Allie found reason to be friends for a year, and they even call themselves like sister, right? Like brother, and that's you. Hey Hunter, your grandma's in the hospital. That wasn't his grandma. Summer's not his sister. But they portray it they say we were so close, our friendship was so close that we were like brother and sister. But now it's inconvenient for Allie to be to be seen as aligned with Candus. I mean, she has sat back. She's had the luxury of observation. She's been able to sit back and watch the attention that Dawn and Candus have called upon themselves, and she sees the incredible level of judgment against Dawn and Candus and their lifestyle. She sees this. She knows. Now, she spent a year or more. She lived in the home with Dawn and Candus, if you can believe her. She knew all too well the filth in that house. She knew all too well the clutter, the dangerous things that were on the property. She knew. But now, you see, she's also watching all of our reactions to the filth and the dangerous items, the refrigerator, the old, rusty metal bed frame. Now Allie's looking and she's going, wow, you mean so other people don't live like this? I mean, we're getting a view here. And you got to think, Karen McDonough is the one that's behind the camera, and she's obviously a woman of great taste, and I'm sure that her home is beautiful and impeccable. And so the location for this interview is very kind of like Southern grace and charm. You've got the Corinthian columns there. You've got the pretty, fence and the crepe myrtle behind it. I mean, do you really think this table lives out on their porch? I'm gonna guess no. I'm gonna guess that this is the living room or the dining room table, and they carried it out onto the porch, maybe under the guise of better lighting. But could it be because maybe the house didn't smell very good? Maybe it was really, really cluttered and looked bad. I mean, this is a beautiful shot here. This is a beautiful background for this interview. You agree? You got to wonder if, Karen's got a discerning eye. She's a professional journalist. She's done interviews before. So I think we were maybe we were misled into a sense of maybe normalcy. But you got to remember that we see these micro expressions, we see these frozen moments in time, and we think, wow, that is a very intimidating glare. That is a very tough woman. But you've got to remember, she was accepting of Candus. Hunter himself tells a story that when Candus gets drunk and high, now this 15-year-old kid has been so familiar with the drug culture that he's drawing a subtle distinction between being drunk or being high or being drunk and high, and how each one may be a little bit different, because he says, Mom, tell him, when Candus gets drunk and high at the same time, he uses that phrase, at the same time. As she gets drunk and high at the same time, she forgets that summer's outside, or she thinks that she loses the kids, or, yada, yada. It's Allie that allowed him to be around the drug culture. It's Allie to allow Hunter to understand that Candus gets drunk and high at the same time and loses her kids. Those were Allie's choices. Would you allow your child, your kid, your young adult, your little teenager, would you allow them to go to someone's house where they're all getting like just crap-faced drunk? I wouldn't. We don't allow drinking and drunken in my house. Why am I going to let my kid go to somebody else's house where people are getting really drunked up? How about this? You're going to let your young teenager go to some adult home where the adults smoke tons of marijuana or possibly other drugs. I'm not. I don't use drugs. My husband doesn't use drugs. We don't allow that kind of behavior in our house. Why would I let my child go to somebody else's house that did those things? And then the coup de grace, am I going to let my teenager go to a person's house where it's common knowledge that they get high and they get schnoggered drunk at the same time and they lose their children? Clearly, it's happened more than once if you listen to Hunter. So while we had been given this pretty backdrop for an interview, and we've heard Allie talk about the evils of, Candus from hell, what a horrible, abusive, mean, hateful mother she was. By contrast, oh, I love that little girl. She was my little princess. Really? She was your little princess? She's your little princess, and you're hanging out with mom and dad, getting drunk and high and losing the children, and your kid is apparently really comfortable physically touching Candus? I mean, that's what we saw in the video. I'm not sure Allie is this innocent that she has worked really hard to portray. I'm not sure that we should be completely accepting of everything she says simply because she's, saying mean things about Candus, and we all can look at Candus and Dawn and feel very uncomfortable with their lifestyle. I mean, many of us have questioned, why didn't CPS step in long before all this? I mean, there was clearly plenty of reason to step in. So let's be really careful about being blindly accepting of the good mother, Allie. And let's just try to deal in reality. I'm not saying she's evil either. I'm not saying that she's a monster or anything like that. I'm just saying, why is it that we are just blindly accepting her story as 100% truth? Because right here in this clip, she is forcefully saying to Chris, after Chris highlights, Hunter doesn't know anything about the damn milk. Hunter probably wasn't even there. Let's be honest. Listen to him. He doesn't know what happened to the milk. Immediately after that, where it becomes just glaringly obvious that Hunter very likely was not there, Allie steps in, and she is so forceful that she points at Chris. That photograph was taken right there. I believe it was taken right there. That photograph is everything. Focus on the photograph. The photograph, the photograph, the photograph. Why aren't you asking Hunter about the milk? You can see it in the photograph. The milk is in the photograph. That's where the milk was. Don't ask Hunter where the milk was. Focus on the photograph. The photograph, the photograph, the photograph. It's very odd. It's very strange. I need to let my little dog in 1 minute. it's a really beautiful, it's a really beautiful early morning. The water is like, it's as still as like a mill pond, right? It's very, very, no waves, no movement. And then there's the the fog is coming up off the water, and the next door neighbor left their light on the pier, and so it is very eerie, and you can see the white pelicans that are floating in the water, so they look like ghosts. It's very, very surreal outside right now. Okay, so let's get started and finish this up. Sorry for the distraction. Okay, can you guys hear me? My internet must have blinked off. Can y'all hear me? Still buffering? 12 steps says she can hear me. Okay, sorry about that. I think my electricity must have blinked off. Let's see. Share the screen. Let's go back over here. What happened at swimming hole? Share. Okay, so all right. So I'm not sure what the last thing was that I said. What was the last thing that you heard me say, guys? Yeah, I agree, Snug Pie. Okay, so yeah, so I let my little dog out there. Okay, now then, that's okay, Iris. We all live in a yellow submarine, a yellow submarine, a yellow submarine. Okay, now then, okay, so I'm talking about how uncomfortable I am with this part of the interview. So let me play it again. Let's see.
And where do you put the milk?
I set them in the middle because Summer had to. Did she even get out the car or did I?
Okay, I'm talking about how strange that comment is. Okay? Now, there's three things for tonight's video. There's three things that I'm really uncomfortable with. And the first is the milk. The milk, huh? The milk. Obviously, Hunter had no idea what the hell Chris McDonough was talking about when he was asking about the milk, right? That's number one. The second thing that bothers me is Allie's reaction to the orange soda. That's notable. I don't know what it means, but it definitely is there. And then the third thing is, did I get out of the truck or did Summer? Why does that bother me, y'all? Well, it bothers me because it's Hunter's house. So, who do you think got out of the truck, Hunter? Right? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't matter. I know people are saying, "Oh, he was drunk. He doesn't remember." But I don't. It doesn't matter if he's drunk or not. Okay, if you want to go with that narrative that he was drunk, then you have to say he lied. That Candus only bought one twisted tea or lemonade or whatever that was that they got. Right? Well, that's a problem that they lied. Or he wasn't drunk. There was only one can of the twisted tea. But he doesn't know if he got out of his own house. Maybe he didn't get out of his house. Maybe he went to Candus's house. If he didn't go home, but instead he went to Candus's house, then what does that say about his potential involvement in the disappearance of Summer? And does that give us explanation for why Allie is saying, that's the way the baby looked right in front of the house, right there. They were parked right there when the photograph was made. It was made right there. They were here. 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 Allie, you don't know if they were there. You've already said you don't know. You were in the back sleeping. Now you're saying, oh, went out there, talked to Candus, you know, the baby was there, she wouldn't let you wake her up. But Hunter's saying she was not asleep. And Alice Morton is bringing up a really important point, which is that Don B went to the horse pond the next day or two and videotaped, and there were twisted tea cans all over the place, more like they had a 12-pack. Wouldn't you say, Alice? More like they had a 12-pack, not a single can. And those cans were spread all out everywhere like they were fairly drunk. Like they had been there quite a lot of time talking and drinking. Right? You get drunk, you finish off a can, you throw it, you know, over into the woods, and it was all spread out. And hybrid Pisces hit the nail on the head. The point is, there are many lies that are revealed during this interview. Let's see. Hannah says, I think he was going to go to Candus, but then something happened to Summer. Candus called Dawn, and then she had to take H home because she had to deal with Summer. Yeah, hi, Yorkie. In the beginning, when Candus first arrives to get Hunter, and Allie goes into the house to, not Allie, I'm sorry, Summer goes into the house to put her swimming suit on. Remember all that? Then she was asleep in the back. But then a couple of hours later, they come back, and now she's awake. She's out at the truck. She's talking to Candus. Candus tells her, no, you can't wake up Summer. But Hunter says that she was not sleeping. Now Hunter's saying, oh, well, did Summer get out? How did she get out if she was asleep, Hunter? This is a mess. Their story broke down horribly. And then Desired brings it out. Why are they all lying? What is the lie for? We don't really care what the lie is. We don't really care what you're saying because that's fiction. It bears no kind of resemblance to the fact. There's no truth in a lie. They just lied. And people are stupid to stick with the lie. They always say, you're lying because you said you went here, 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 and here. Well, why are you even talking about it? If it was a lie, don't talk about it. Don't even bring it up. Just say, what's the truth? That story isn't true. Tell me the truth. But it's human nature. We can't get away from. We hear the lie and our brain just treats it like it's truth. It's just the way our brains operate. It believes whatever is put into it. So what is important from a behavioral analysis point of view is that you've got a group of people here that are collectively telling a lie to Chris McDonough. What I want to know is why. What was the purpose? Why did they need to lie? And then Candus, this group is constantly taking photographs and TikToks and videos. We don't get anything documented that day. We got a short little clip. There's another lie. You got this short little clip of Hunter throwing gang signs as he, in my opinion, ominously walks toward Summer, and she's in the water. She's not celebrating. I can remember my daughter was 10 years younger, or is 10 years younger than my son. We would all be together swimming or Disney World or whatever. And when he would show up to play she would just be ecstatic because that was her big brother and they were going to be having fun and he was going to like pick her up, throw her through the air and, have fun, right? But I don't see that from Summer. I don't see Summer looking at Hunter walking into the water and her being excited that he's there. Do you? Did you see excitement? Oh, my big brother's here. We're about to play. Did you see that? I didn't. So we get this video, this one from a woman who is constantly making either photographs or TikTok videos, constant. You get nothing that day but this teeny tiny little clip of Hunter standing there in dry shorts. He's dry. He doesn't have any water on him. His hair is dry. He's throwing gang signs, and then he heads out towards Summer. And that's it. It's over. Clip over. But Hunter is saying something completely different. He's saying that they were drinking, they were talking, he, Candus, and Grandus were talking, blah, 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 blah. And he's keeping an eye out. He's the lifeguard, quote unquote. He maybe wasn't looking directly at her, but he could see everything through the side. You know what I mean? Bruh. Yeah. I watch. Yeah. Right? And he says she was underwater. And I don't know how long she was underwater. And I got scared. I got spooked. And I went running in and grabbed her and said, "Are you all right?" Well, when did that happen, Hunter? Because we've got a video of you dry, walking into the water toward her, and she ain't under the water. You know what I mean? You can see her head. She's been dancing or playing and running her hands over the top of the water. She's not under the water. She's there. So which is it, Hunter? Did you run in to save the day because she was underwater for a long time and you didn't know what was wrong? Or did you throw a few gang signs and walk into the water and get in the water as the little girl's playing above the water? All right. Yeah, 15 seconds under the water is a whole different ball game than a few seconds, but here's my point, Hannah. Both of those cannot be true. They can't both be true stories. And I would contend, I'm going to be willing to bet that neither one of them is true. I don't even think they went to the fishing hole that day. And this concerted effort on this porch here to mislead during this interview, again, why? Why? If you're lying, I'm not even going to think about what you said. You're lying. Why am I even going to think about it? It's just going to muddy up my own problem solving to focus on your lies. Right? So, okay, so let's go ahead and finish this out here.
I thought she got out of the car too. I don't really remember that.
Okay.
Oh, wow. And notice how soft his voice is when he says it. Oh, I thought she got out too. You know, he's been put in a terrible situation, I think, here. I don't think I'm not willing to say that he was even involved in her disappearance. And I know that's weird to y'all. I know you're kind of like, what? Then why are we focusing on him? I think he's a prop. I think he's being used to try to be an alibi.
Okay. At some point,
Allie looks upset right after this. She looks uncomfortable. Watch her face as she sits back.
Out the car too. I don't remember that.
Okay. At some point,
She's like,
how did the
"Damn
milk
it."
bottles get on the other side of her? Do you know?
I have no idea then because she said that she was sleeping on the door, but when I got out the car, she wasn't even at the door. She was in the middle.
Was she sleeping on you?
Nah.
Was she asleep?
I didn't even see her asleep. I just got out the car because she wanted to talk to her
Okay. Got it.
about that thing for that Friday, the water park.
Got it. But where's Summer?
She was still in the middle. I was.
Ooh, what's the matter, Allie? What got up under your shirt there, girl? You feeling a little bit irritated with your boy? Let's watch this again. Keep your eye on Allie.
Was she sleeping on you?
Nah.
Was she asleep?
I didn't even see her asleep. I just got out the car because she wanted to talk to her
Okay. Got it.
about that thing for that Friday, the water park.
Got it. But where's Summer?
She was still in the middle.
What do you think? Do you think she threw that pen down? Why? Why did old Allie throw the pen down? What exactly are you unhappy about, Allie?
I have no idea.
And I'm gonna tell you, I feel a little bit sorry for Hunter right here. He knows he messed up. Listen to the tone of his voice, how it changes.
Out the car too. I don't remember that.
Okay. At some point, how did the milk bottles get on the other side of her? Do you know?
I have no idea then because she said that she was sleeping on the door, but when I got out the car, she wasn't even at the door. She was in the middle.
Was she sleeping on you?
Nah.
Was she asleep?
I didn't even see her asleep. I just got out the car because she wanted to talk to
Allie's
her
pissed.
Okay. Got it.
about that thing for that
Watch her
Friday,
throw the pen.
the water park.
Got it. But where's Summer?
She was still in the middle. I wasn't really paying attention to her, to be honest.
Okay. Okay.
So interesting. I don't even think Chris caught that though, you know? Did he? Was he watching when she threw the pen down in frustration?
Nah.
Was she asleep?
I didn't even see her asleep. I just got out the car because she wanted to talk to her
Okay. Got it.
about that thing for that Friday, the water park.
Got it. But where's Summer?
She was still in the middle. I wasn't really paying
Oh,
attention.
maybe he did notice. Maybe he did see it. He kind of looked down at the pen, didn't he? Wow, that's crazy. Allie, what did you get pissed
To
off
be
about?
honest.
Okay. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. That's cool.
I wasn't even paying attention at that point. I just wanted to go inside. Or just wanted.
Do you see her creating a distraction? You see it? She even made like a gross noise like, ah. Watch the distraction after she throws a little fit. She's trying to get Chris's attention off of Hunter.
About that thing for that Friday, the water park.
Got it. But where's Summer?
She was still in the middle. I wasn't really paying attention to her, to be honest.
Okay. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. That's cool.
I wasn't even paying attention at that point. I just wanted to go inside. Or just wanted my girl to come over for a little bit. That's
Sure.
the whole point.
Is Summer hurt by this point, you think?
I don't
From the
think
water?
so. I mean, she could have been. I mean, I wasn't really paying attention to her.
Then what happens when you get out of the car?
When I get out the car. When I get out the car, I go to the front because she had to hand me that other vape that she gave me.
So I think what happened here, it's a guess. I think that maybe they planned out the story really well, right? They practiced it, you know, and all that. And I think that just in oversight, not thinking their way through it, they didn't think about that they had to have a story for how it was going to end. I think they just wanted to get the story to get them past whatever they did with Summer. But now, they get this great story together about going to the fishing hole, and all that. But what'd you do when you got out, Hunter? And they didn't plan for that. And so Hunter's unprepared. He doesn't know what he's supposed to say. And Allie's pissed off because she doesn't know how to gain control of the situation again. She tried really hard to create a diversion there, in my opinion. And now she's just waiting again to see, am I going to find an opportunity to get in here and try to recover this?
Got it.
And then I showed Mom at that door.
Okay.
And that was it.
Okay. And this is when you saw Summer in the back. How did the milk get rearranged?
I have no idea.
See?
I mean, I could have said I'm there when I got out the car.
That's fine.
Bro, I'm telling you now, I really don't remember anything but talking to her.
Got it.
At that point.
No problem. What do you think, Miss Allison? How's that milk get rearranged?
I don't know, that milk was there when they pulled up like that.
Okay, but Hunter...
Yeah, Chris is like, well, what? Allie, your child is telling you that he was holding the milk in his lap. So I don't know why you're saying that it was like that when they drove up, because it wasn't. And Allie's going, but it was, because that's the way we wrote the story.
Had the milk in the middle.
In the middle.
And so now the milk's on the other side of Summer. How does that happen?
I don't know.
I don't either, and that's why I'm asking.
I don't even remember how I got out the car. That's the funny part.
That's fine. That's
I
fine.
thought I was totally sitting in the middle the entire time, but I guess.
Now we're going to completely change the narrative. Now he's saying, no, just kidding. I was in the middle the whole time. And Allie looks like, would you shut up? Would you please stop talking, Offspring? Hush. It's very strange.
It's not.
Now, did Candus then, let's fast forward. We'll come back to that later. There's going to be a lot of questions about that, though. I'll give you a heads up, okay? A lot of folks are going to ask about, well, how'd that happen, okay? Yeah. So I'm just giving you, a heads up on that, okay?
Why? Why would you give him a heads up on that, Mr. McDonough? I don't think you should have given. I'm not law enforcement, but I don't know that I would have done that. Why would you want to give him a heads up? I just don't understand that. I mean, the point is to get to the truth, right? So, I don't know.
Just so you know, okay?
Got you.
Now, straight up though, from there now, you're here. When's the next time Candus contacts you?
Around 7:30 that day.
That night. And where were you at that time?
I was over at the park in Bristol with my girl.
Hanging out with your girlfriend.
Look at Grandma. Grandma's looking at Allie like, are you crazy? What are you doing, Allie? Okay. Let me go back just a little bit. Okay, so Grandma's listening to the story. All is well. And then Allie begins basically answering the questions for Hunter. She's mouthing the answers, right? And the grandma sees her. And the grandma's like, what are you doing? Oh, it's so funny. I'm gonna slow it down just a teeny bit. All right.
That night. And where were you at that time?
I was over at the park in Bristol.
Did you see Grandma's face? She's like, what the hell? Why are you telling him what to say? So interesting.
My girl.
Hanging out with your girlfriend. Okay, and what happens? Tell me about that.
So she called me saying that someone's missing.
Okay.
I thought she's pulling a leg because she's known to do that.
Okay, why would she mess around with her daughter?
do y'all think about that? What do y'all think about the grandma watching her, and you can see it on the grandma's face. You can see her looking at Allie like, you're actually telling him what to say. I think Allie forgot about the camera. I agree, Hannah. I think the whole conversation about the milk and the orange soda, I think it really got Allie upset. And she got angry. She threw the pen down. She tried to create a distraction, a diversion. And then I think Allie was coaching him, telling him what to say. And the grandma saw it and was surprised. So, you know what I wish? I wish Grandma would call the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation and tell them what happened, what she knows to be her truth. I wish she would do that. For Summer, I wish she would do that. All right. Okay, everybody. Believe it or not, I got to get ready for work. So, thank y'all for spending time with me in my, insomnia. I think she was more for moral support, however she caught on. It certainly seemed that way, right, Arctic Cat? And she seemed a little disturbed by it, don't you think? Let's slow it down and watch her close. Okay, I'm going to slow it down to half speed. Okay, let's watch.
That night. And where were you at that time?
I was over at the park in Bristol with my girl.
Hanging out with your girlfriend.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and what happened? Tell me about that.
So she called me saying,
Yeah, Grandma knows, doesn't she? Did you see that as she looked away? She looked away and went, damn, Allie, what happened? Grandma knows. Grandma knows that Allie is lying out her, you know what. What do you do with it, right? At this point, what do you do with it? You would hope that the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation has gone through this video like we have. You would hope that the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation would have seen this. And you would hope that Allie would have been brought in for a polygraph. That's what you would hope for. What do y'all think? Yeah. I think this is a constructed narrative. I don't think that we got the truth. And with you, Naomi. Yeah, I think they need to question Allie. I really do. I think they need to question Allie. There's a problem here. And I don't necessarily think that it's Hunter. We agree that the video that's taken in the truck asking if Summer's arm is still up, we agree that the voice that you hear, that is not an old woman. That is not a 70-year-old woman's voice answering. Allie has a channel? I agree, Gigi. Yes. What is the channel, Innocent? At the end of the interview, Hunter states Candus was out of her mind. Yeah. Why are they throwing Candus under the bus? I don't think Candus was there. I think it was Allie and Candus, and Hunter may or may not have been there. I'm thinking no. I think something happened, and Candus asked Allie to help her. I don't think they're really feuding, Hybrid. Maybe so, Hannah. Allie has gone dark. Okay, thank you, Hybrid. Okay, I was fixing to say that'd be crazy if she's doing a channel talking. You are involved in something like this, even as a witness, you shut your mouth. Period, right? I mean, that's what the cops, law enforcement will tell you. Be quiet. Not Don. Don can't. His mouth is out of control. True Crime Commentary did an interview with Allie's older daughter. I'll look for that, Hybrid. Thank you. Is Allie one of the wrong friends that Don was talking about? There's a question of the year, EDT. There's a great question. If Allie and Candus were not talking and she had called CPS on her, then why is Candus letting Hunter, I'm sorry, why is Allie letting Hunter go hang out with Candus? Thank you. If she's calling in CPS reports because of this horrible abusive situation with drugs and alcohol and everything else, why is she letting her teenage child go around that? Thank you. Absolutely roll with it. Absolutely. Yep. Yep. All right, peeps, I got to get ready for work. It's Thursday. Thank God it is Thursday. One more day, it'll be Friday. I cannot wait. It is also December the 2nd. I think today is 2 turtle doves, right? Yesterday was a partridge and a pear tree. All right. Y'all have a great day. And I will talk to you tomorrow. All right? Have a Merry Christmas.